All right, welcome everybody to our lunchtime facelift. The products that we are going to be talking about today are the Z3 Trio. That is, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Mike. They're non-toxic, organic, plant-based skincare that I've been trying for like 4 days and I cannot believe the instant results from it. So we've got a few people here today that are going to try it live for us, but I'm going to turn it over to Mike to explain a little bit about Asante Organics and these products.
Thank you. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Z3. I mean, if you guys look into everything, we have everything practically, a whole catalog of over 100 products that are all 100% chemical free, 100% toxic free. That's the key word right there, toxic free, because non-toxic doesn't really exist. And so what happened is that we also have, like I said, 100 different products that you can actually look into. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about this Z3 because everybody's flipping out over this product and loving the results. And I'm also in love with the products myself. And I'll tell you why. Because in the studying of aging, every time that the sun goes around the planet, right? You know, we have another birthday. We're another year older biologically, right? But that doesn't mean we have to look older. That's the key. We don't have to look older. And one of the biggest studies in now happening in science and at the medical level and at the institutional level, you know, and at the height of the cosmetic research industry is how do you truly reverse aging? I mean, is it even possible, right? And I'm going to talk about a couple of mechanisms that take place in aging so we don't just lump everything into one big, huge basket. And then, you know, I want you to really understand it, right? And then once you see what we're doing here, you can find out that, wow, not only can you reverse aging, but yes, we can stop aging, right? We can reverse it. Now, not from a biological level, but from an aesthetic standpoint, we can actually stop it and reverse it. And we do that with plants. So let's talk a little bit about plants first, because every single thing we do in this company consists of plants and plant therapy. And plants are very, very part of our life, you know. Time began in the garden. So, you know, plants are food, plants are energy, plants are life source, plants contain amino acids, plants contain proteins, right? Plants are biomimetic, meaning that there's properties in some plants that actually mimic the exact same properties in the human body. Plants are bioidentical, which basically means that here's a really good example to understand how they can become bioidentical. So when a plant, this is a good example. Back in the days of World War I, the American soldiers, so, you know, we were in World War I and the United States ran out of blood supply for the American soldiers. No blood anymore. Didn't have it. Can't give transfusions. So they were like, we got to, you know, get into this really quick and figure out what we can do. And they found out that chlorophyll has the same chemical makeup as blood. So they started giving these soldiers chlorophyll and coconut water transfusions. And what happened was that the soldiers were recovering faster, they had more energy, they were alkalizing, they were looking better. They just couldn't believe it. But that's how a plant can become bioidentical. And we're going to talk about that in a tripeptide, because we purchased a tripeptide, which is called Oxy-28. It's in the product, consists tri meaning three, right? Tricycle, and you know, three wheels, and triangle, right? We got three. So tripeptide means three different types of plants that all synergistically work together. So first, let's understand aging, right? Where the skin is always trying to repair itself, and the body is always degrading itself with time and age and lifestyle and diet and sun exposure and everything that exists. But that is not what causes us to age. Those are contributing factors. But what causes the aging process in the human body is an actual protein called progerin. And progerin is a protein that attacks the aging mechanisms at the level of DNA. So what's that look like? Let's say my arm is a strand of DNA. Here's this progerin. It's a protein inside the body. It comes like Pac-Man, and it starts hitting the DNA where it's responsible for aging, and it starts actually eating it out. It digests all this part of the DNA, and then we start looking older. Now, it happens with people at all different ages. You have a 50-year-old person, let's say, and you look at him, they're like, wow, that guy doesn't look 50, he looks like he's 35. Or you have a 50-year-old person, you're like, oh my gosh, the guy looks like he's like 75. Right. That basically means that this protein is going absolutely ballistic and eating away at this DNA. And it's responsible for fine lines and wrinkles and jowls and sagging necks and rosacea and acne. And we can go on and on and on, everything. Okay.
Wow.
And that's what it does. So then what happens is now here's a really good example of progerin gone wild. There's these little kids that get they're like 10, 12, 14 years old, and they look like they're 80 and 90. It's a rare disease, but it's this protein going absolutely ballistic in their body. So it's going to always be different with everybody. But we have this product right here, and this stuff is magical because, and you won't, the good thing is you'll never find these tripeptides again in a product other than here at the Santi Organics, because we bought out all the patents. So this has international patents, all the trademarks, we own everything. So nobody's going to have this Oxy 28, only us, right? And so let's understand how that basically works. So when you apply the product to the skin, doesn't matter what product you apply to the skin, everything gets goes through the skin, it gets into the skin within 26 seconds, and it's going to get into your internal organs within 5 to 8 minutes. So let's understand that when we're looking at labels for the rest of our life, right? Because you want to use stuff that does use plants. That's simple. It's a very simple equation. So what happens is when we apply the Oxy 28 or the Z3 to the body, we always start with the eye cream first and the repair cream, and then if you want to do the facelift. And what happens is when you apply this, it's in all three products. The first actual tripeptide slides down, and it comes in within, like I said, within about 30 seconds. It's now at the level of DNA, and it puts up a wall. It isolates this progerin. It can't get there anymore. So it becomes a barrier between the progerin, aging protein, and the DNA. So as long as you keep using the product, you will never, ever, this progerin will never be able to get at the DNA anymore and eat away and digest the part that's responsible for aging. So it blocks the matrix meloproteinases, the digestion that's required for the aging process. It completely isolates it of that skin that breaks down your tissue, right? So the net effect is that the Oxy 28 blocks this destructive proteases, and now the Oxy 28 healing can take over, and now we're going to start turning this curve a little bit more positive. So the second peptide comes in, and it slides down in between the DNA and the actual barrier that we put up there, the first tripeptide, and now that starts actually repairing the part of the DNA that's been damaged. So now you have blocking going on, you have repairing going on. So you're actually improving your age by blocking this deep, deep aging protein, the progerin, and now this repairing starts happening. And it really repairs wonderfully. And so now this oxy-28 is an awesome mechanism that will help you improve the aging process. Then the best part is that third tripeptide. That's the magical tripeptide, right? Because what happens is this particular tripeptide actually is biomimetic. It's bioidentical, which means that it's designed from plants to be bioidentical or to mimic the exact peptides in your body, those exact peptides that your body used to produce when you were younger, in your 20s and 30s. So what happens is it starts communicating with the mother cells. So what we do is we lose our skin. We shed our skin every 28 to 36 days. So we're not worried about the stuff that's fallen off. Let's worry about the stuff that's still there. And how it basically works is we all have mother cells, and every 28 to 36 days, these mother cells split. And that's what we see on the outside of our whole entire body is daughter cells, right? And they split every 28 to 36 days. So what happens is this tripeptide starts communicating with this mother cell and saying, hey, do you feel good? I mean, can you feel all that stuff going on? Yeah, what's that? Well, we put up a barrier now so this progerin can't eat away at the DNA. That's why you feel so good, right? And I mean, and you're feeling energetic, and it's just communicating with this. And it's like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how I'm feeling, right? But what's happening is not only do we block it, but we have a tripeptide now repairing all this damage that was ever done, all this repairing. So what we want you to do now is now we're going to retrain. We want you to start splitting the way you used to do when you were in your 20s and 30s, because you have all this energy and no stress on yourself anymore. And you know what happens? It does. It actually does. So now you got the strongest biomimetic peptides active, the oxy-28 in the marketplace, in the most popular and effective moisturizing system in the market, Z3. So what do you get? What's the end result? Permanent. Key word right there. Permanent skin rejuvenation that will not revert. So let's say you use the product for a year. I can show you how to take 5 to 10 years off your looks just on the first application. But you use it for a year, and now all this isolation and repair work was done, and now you're looking great. You don't have to use the facelift part anymore, and you decide, oh, I'm not going to use that. And I don't know anybody who would decide that, right? If they decided not to use it, you wouldn't revert back to what you looked like. You would start aging all over again from where you left off. So that is huge. But we didn't stop there, because we found a really rare red algae. And once this action, we also applied that into the product. And once that's applied and it's assimilated into the skin, the free radical scavenging capabilities is absolutely huge. Okay, so this produces 17 times more collagen than any collagen product on the market. Now, here's something about collagen. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I can tell you this. You want the collagen placed where you want the work to be done. If you're taking any product in the world and you're swallowing it, then there's issues that go along with that. We're not going to get into that, because what we want collagen for is we want it because we want this to look good, that to look good. Well, then place it there by itself, so we can actually do what it's supposed to do. Plant collagen is huge compared to trying to put a horse hoof or a cow hoof or tendons and crazy stuff inside the body, right? So, and again, with this red algae, it's 6,000 times more powerful compared to vitamin C, 1,000 more times powerful compared to vitamin E. 800 more times compared to CoQ10, 1,800 more times compared to nitric oxide, 3,100 compared to natto, which is the most powerful Japanese herb, antioxidant herb in the world, right? 700 times compared to OPCs. OPCs are oxygenated protective capabilities, which they basically protect you against various external dangers, like they have a huge antioxidant effect. So these dangers include rays from the sun, from your cell phones, from your computers, things of that sort. 110 times stronger than compared to beta carotene, 1,100 times stronger compared to nucleic acid, which is a DNA protection mechanism. It's 1,800 times stronger compared to lipozene, which is strong antioxidant, 800 times compared to keratol, 320 times compared to T polyphenols. So these are antioxidants, and they only happen at the beginning of a tea plant. The little white fluffy things on top of the tea plants. Anti-inflammatories to protect you against a lot of things, cancers as well. The moisturizing properties in this as well is just unbelievable. It creates awesome skin barriers. So what makes red algae a great skincare plant is that dry skin, it helps to rejuvenate it. It rejuvenates your complexion, and additionally helps reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles by preserving moisture inside the skin to make it look more vibrant. So with that being said, that is Z3 and Oxy 28. So if we're going to do this now, then are we ready? Who's all got the product anyway?
Well, I'm not testing it today, but
Anybody?
I am. Yeah, and I got my SIG bow ready.
Oh,
I
boy.
need one. Look at you.
I want one too.
Well, she's
Come on,
sending
guys,
those things
get it
out all
on.
over the place.
Get it on.
I don't even know what she looks like without one.
Mike, we can start selling the products with the headband.
Right.
Hey, that's a great idea.
Okay, so when we do this, one, we're going to follow it the way I tell you. And when we get to the facelift part, what you're going to do, just like a cell phone, right? If you took a cell phone on your face and you want it nice and flat. So you're going to want to flatten out your hand. And when we do the facelift, we're going to pull back and lift up. So we want this eyebrow to go up. Okay, so we're going to pull and lift and then stop. You can't move it around because because what we're putting on with the serum is plant stem cells, and they're like a screen on a screen door. So if you move these things around, it could look worse. It could look like you just balled up a whole bunch of spaghetti. So it's really important that when we do this, we don't speak, we don't make facial movements, we don't laugh, we don't talk, we do nothing. You know what? It's about time to be quiet for 90 seconds and just enjoy life, right? And just pull back and lift up. And then when I tell you to take it away, we're not going to do it quick. Okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to take it away real slowly. And we're just going to take our hands and pull back like this until it's off. All right, perfect. Let's start. So how we start? So we start with the eye cream first. And I want you to get it under the eye, on the cheekbone, all the way to the hairline, all the way up from the nose to the back, on the eyelids, right? All in, and every part of that eye. Let's do that first.
We can't hear you, Patrice.
One pump.
As many as a couple.
Okay.
I love the smell of that stuff. It's so
Yeah.
fresh and nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say
It really
just?
does. It does kind of smell planty.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to expect, but
All right, now that we got that on, we're gonna let it dry for about 15 seconds. I'm gonna time you guys,
Okay.
because when we pull it back, nice and tight and up, and just hold it there, and I'll time it. Because you want to time it for 90 seconds.
Okay, we just did the eye cream.
Right, right. So now we're gonna do the repair cream. And that is in the bigger bottle, okay? So we put that on next. Get a good amount on.
And then,
Put- Over the left or whatever side of your face, right?
Yep, same side.
just all
Put on the
over
face.
for this.
Wait,
All
wait,
You were
wait,
just doing
wait.
half of your face.
Time
Yeah,
out,
so
Jamie.
just all over the
Amy,
rest.
the big one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Ooh, that smells good.
Yeah.
All the way up to the top of the head, just like we did everything else. All the way to the back of the.
Any down on the neck or
Yes,
Not
don't need to do that yet. We're just doing up here because we're gonna pull and lift up on the top. All right, now we're gonna take that facelift, you guys. Put a medium, between light and medium coat on, all right? Do that one a little quicker. You know, you wanna really get it in there quick, and we're gonna do this and pull back. So, go.
you guys ready?
Yeah, go.
And so where do you put it? Just around the eye or everywhere?
Everywhere, just like you just did.
Whoa.
Get on your eyelids. Up on the eyebrow, perfect. All right. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. We do it while it's still moist. All right, here, watch me. Okay, ready, set, put our hands here, pull back nice and hard and lift up. And stay right there. Here we go. I'm gonna time it. Don't say nothing, please. And so what's happening now, just as you guys are doing this, is that again, so the facelift is designed so in the mornings, if you want to do it, it will actually hold for 12 to 14 hours. That's all you really need. And this is like a facelift, right? And this facelift is good because this stuff gives you, again, 12 to 14 hours of holding power. And this is what's you're using until our skin moves up and it's all now newly repaired and it's splitting the way we did when we were in our 20s and 30s. So this is making you doing the job and holding it. And someday, once this all comes up, you won't even have to use the face lift anymore because you'll know when that day is. You'll see it. You'll see it. And it happens for everybody. So that's how that works. So we got about 20 more seconds left. And remember, when we take our hands away, we're going to take it back really slow and just lift off. All right. So 90, 60, 30, 20. All right, good. So here's what we do. We just pull back really slow. Take your hand off there. And what I see already, because she's the first one sitting here, I see Amy's eyebrow higher up than the other one. Am I right or am I wrong?
Totally.
Am I
You
right,
gotta
Amy?
say something, Amy.
Screenshot that. Am I? Hold on.
It looks higher to me. What about everybody else?
Totally.
All right, say something, Patrice.
Patrice is really high.
Oh, yeah. Can you see a difference? I can't see myself.
I can see it on you too. I can see your eyebrow higher. Can
You guys
too?
did opposite sides, but totally.
I did my right side.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell.
Yay.
That's so crazy. Oh, there's
So that's it.
Why you
I
can't see
mean,
yourself?
you can't make this stuff hard, and you don't want to make it hard because it needs not to be. And that's how it works.
I had a question. I was talking to Lisa earlier, Mike, and the body butter, does that have some of the same ingredients?
So at night, when we sleep, that's when the skin goes through more damage than any time in our lives. It's when we're sleeping. Why? Because our body slows down to about 70%, and then it slows down 70%. So what happens is that the body's trying to repair itself, skin included. So the rejuvenate is something you should use at night on your skin, because that has all the plants and the properties that need to be helping the body repair during shutdown. And the body butter is just something you use all over the place, and it's really good stuff. The Z3 is really plant and DNA specific. So that particular product is for what we just did. But all the other stuff is great. And I would tell everybody to, when you're going to do cleansing in the mornings. So I always use vitamin C cleanser at night, but in the mornings, it's very simple. One day I use vitamin C, one day I use bamboo exfoliant. Next day I use vitamin C, next day I use bamboo exfoliant. I switch every day like that in the mornings. So,
All
that
right.
seems to really, really help. This is going to help every skin condition that is known. So,
I really like the vitamin C cleanser. It actually takes off makeup really easily and doesn't leave your face feeling all stripped.
Awesome.
I'm feeling tighter, like
yes, as you will.
stuck in position. Now I need to fix the other side.
So this is huge, ladies, because we're a good, strong, secure, stable company. We've been around for quite some time. We got a teeny tiny database, which is a teeny tiny database, which allows you to make whatever you want to make as far as income. The world's yours, to be honest with you. And you got a great catalog of everything that everybody uses. And then you got Z3. And this has been literally nobody knows about it. And when it's just a matter of time before everybody knows about it. And who's going to be those few people that are going to go out there and get the traction going. Because you got something really special because of how it works. And so, you pretty much found your last company you'd ever have to deal with. We've been around for a long time, and we really we're laser focused on plant therapy, and that's all we do. We just focus plants. So you're not going to find any, everything's 100% chemical free, 100% toxic free. That's the big word right there. Look,
Yeah.
I'll teach you guys something as we're on. Okay. All right. So this is a big, huge difference. And I would get the word non-toxic out of your vocabulary. This comes from the Toxin Free Foundation. And so an examination of all manufacturing batch records has indicated that the labels for each product are accurate. There are no ingredients used in the manufacturing of the above listed products omitted from the label disclosure. So that basically is meaning that they sit there and they watch how you do things, because you could take an organic plant and through a chemical wash, you could make it toxic. So these guys are really stringent on watching from out of the ground into the bottom, right? Material safety data sheets are on all of the product specifications of analysis and extraction, right? Extraction methodology, if applicable, of all raw materials have been reviewed, and each ingredient meets the criteria for the certification. The water contained in these formulas exceeds the foundation's purification standards, since only distilled water is used, and we triple distill it. Nobody does that. Nobody. So that's how that goes. Now, when it comes to the records and the seals, that the ingredient label is an exact match to the manufacturing batch records, which most factories will never disclose this information for obvious reasons, right? And this is probably the single greatest hindrance in securing the seal, because most factories will, or manufacturing facilities will use common toxic carcinogen and hormonal disrupting chemicals to simplify their formulations. And a specific specification of analysis of every ingredient has to be and must be provided, right? And the extraction methodology, if any, must be supplied. So this thing's a hard thing to get, right? Now, let's talk about what is non-toxic, because I keep hearing this all the time in the space, and many companies. So if a company was out there saying we're toxic free product, and they use this word toxic free, and they don't carry that seal, these guys will sue them like crazy quickly. They're really on top of their stuff because they don't want that out there whatsoever. You either get the seal or don't say it. So people then say non-toxic. Well, many companies refer to their product as non-toxic. The US government allows the cosmetic and toiletries industry to comply with the LD50 test. This is the lethal dose 50% rule, which means when testing an ingredient or product, if less than 50% die, the product would be considered not toxic. Thus, a company who states that their product is non-toxic could have had 49% of the lab animals die, right? So toxic-free, on the other hand, means there is no toxic or carcinogen or hormonal disrupting chemicals whatsoever. That's the big difference. And if you go as a company and you apply, you want these guys to come in and do their thing, which takes a long time for you to get done. What happens is if something isn't right, according to this foundation, it becomes public knowledge. So companies which would rather avoid this, because God forbid you learn something and you know where to look stuff up at, and then you find out that these guys didn't get the seal because they found something that is linked to some really horrific situations, right? So they just use the word non-toxic instead, right? But I knew, when was it? 2010, that I knew everything that we were doing could fall into this place. We've had this for since then. What's that? 2010, 22 years, right? 23. So that's probably the most proud certification that I think we have. And we got 170 something certifications, right? So we're really into that to make sure, look, I got to use the product, my family's got to use the product, my loved ones use the product. And so that's where that goes. And I'm not going to use junk. What?
I said, that's incredible.
Right. So, yeah. And then we designed our own seal, which was fun when I did it. And if you've seen it, it's, let me see if I can find it where it's bigger. Well, you'll see it. But it's this one right there that says leaves green footprints, because I think that's what we want to do, is leave green footprints on global population and the world and stuff. And that's our own seal that we developed ourselves. And it was funny because the minute that we did it, within an hour, 500 companies actually applied for that seal.
Wow.
And so, like, if we wouldn't have done it at the time we got it, we would have never got it. And I think that, God puts things into place. Look, Jennifer's just going up. She's just
Yeah.
Tell them all.
Hey, Jennifer, can you please mute?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Right. So, so that was a wow moment for us because like we developed this seal because of what we believe in, and a lot of work went into it. And then once we applied, within an hour, because the world's going green, 4 or 5 different other companies applied to say the same thing, and they can't. So we're the only ones that can say that. So that was fun. What else? Anything else? What else do you guys want?
Thank you so much, Michael. That was so informative. I have another entire page of notes on top of the 3 pages that I took the other day.
So do we want to
And-
see what a negative? So in all our products that are ingested powders, I won't do anything but powders. And then we're the only company, again, in the world that knows how to do this, because you don't buy a machine, you have to engineer a machine. You have to use a different type of machine, create these probes, and then create a negative 750 megahertz charge in this stuff. And it looks like that. And then it'll jump around. Now it's jumping on my screen. So anyway, it'll jump all over the place because, you can now you can take a product with a negative charge, positively charged. So when you take products that are negatively charged, boom, it's like a magnet hitting a refrigerator, and this stuff will become isotonic, which means it'll assimilate or absorb into the body before it even hits the large intestines. So you get everything. So when you're talking about the greens and the reds, you're getting 5.5 pounds of live, raw, green, alkaline, whole food nutrition, right? That's all we do here. Everything is focused on whole food nutrition. No juice powders, no, concentrates and all this other cheap stuff that these companies do. So that's it. That's how we do it. And if you have any questions, we're always here to help. And if you got some suggestions, like to see different things, I don't own this company. We all own this company. So everybody needs to be heard. So if you say, hey, Mike, can we make this? Or can we do that? Can we do that? Bring your suggestions, bring your things in. We got to make this, something that we're just excited and proud to be a part of. And the way you do that is everybody is created equal over here. So, bring on the things that you want, you need, you think, and we have these talks and we discuss it, right? Because if it makes sense, we do it. If it doesn't make it, there's a lot of things I've said that don't make some sense sometimes too. So, like we always vote on it, and in our company, what we do is we always what we tend to do is we you can have that. We vote on things with an uneven number. So if it ever got close, it would be one way or the other. So, and we put that into your hands. So, you guys are always going to be beta testers as well. So when we come up with new stuff and send it out, we pick 11 people, with different skin tones, different things, different situations, and then you guys get to use it. And then how do you like it? And if 10 people say, oh my gosh, Mike, it's the greatest thing ever. And then one guy says, it's all right. We don't do nothing. We go back to the drawing board. I make sure that all 11 people are just so ecstatic of this stuff that, they just can't stop talking about it. So, yeah.
Right.
So, I have a different belief system than a lot of other people, right? I think that people want to go to one place, do their shopping, and get out, and they're done, because that is the world we live in. They want to go 50 places to get their 80 different things, So we're trying to create that superstore. So we have what we have, and we got another maybe 300 products that we are already finished that we can bring out. So we just kind of
Amazing.
bring. You'll see this company bring out more products in a year than companies bring out in 10 years, because we just continuously just drop new things all the time.
Can't
So,
wait.
Yeah. So that's that, you guys. All right.
Thank you so much. I'm going to
Thank you,
stop the recording.
Yeah, and you can cut it off at any